On Friday, December 22nd, there was a shooting at 83 Morse Street. Chief Brooks releases new information about the incident.
Hi, this is Chief Bill Brooks of the Norwood Police Department. Excuse my appearance, I'm getting over a little bit of surgery, so working some light duty, but I want to talk a little bit about the officer-involved shooting that happened on December 22nd, and by now I think most people have seen on the news a short summary of what happened. Basically, we responded to a call a little before 1 o'clock that day. It was a Friday. We responded to a call that a woman had gone into the Planet Self-Storage on Morse Street. She had pointed a firearm at the gentleman who worked there, and they had had a dispute. As a result of that, a 911 call came in. When our officers first responded, the woman was standing in the middle of the parking lot. She was holding the firearm to her temple. First officer in was a plainclothes officer who parked across the street, who attempted to negotiate with her, and that really continued for the better part of about 40 minutes. Although she began with the item pointed at her head, she also waved it in our direction several times, and we kept telling her to put it down and not to aim the firearm at us, and asked her what she wanted. We asked her how we could help her, and but this went on for about 40 minutes. And only then did she begin to walk towards the edge of the parking lot, closest to the street, and she stood there with the gun extended in our direction. Again, the officers held their fire, which I think was just remarkable restraint on their part, that they used cover effectively, kept giving her verbal commands to put the gun down, and she wouldn't. And then she began to cross the street and approached a cluster of officers that were at the corner of the building. And when she got just too close, they had really no choice. One officer fired one single shot, which knocked her down, and we immediately rushed to her aid to give her first aid. The officers really did a remarkable job applying first aid, specifically a chest seal to the entrance wound on her chest to prevent a second chest wound, which I think played a major role in her survivability. Within just a few minutes, the fire department was here with an ambulance and an engine. They took over first aid care of her. That continued, and then when they got her in the ambulance, they continued to provide care for her. Some of that took place here on the street, and then they headed for Norwood Memorial Airport, where they had called MedFlight. And I know more care was applied to her in the helicopter right there at the airport. And then she was flown into Boston, where she underwent surgery that night, and really by the next day was able to visit with family members who had come and to talk to people and converse with them. And at this point, it's just about a week later. She has survived that gunshot wound, which I think really is remarkable. Again, just the work of Norwood police officers, Norwood Fire, and the MedFlight crew, just ensuring her that she had the very best chance of surviving what occurred. We've since found out, once we got to the crime scene and began to examine the crime scene, that there was not a real firearm she had to her head. Little did we know at the time it was an airsoft gun, which is really designed to look just like a real firearm, but it was not. It would not have fired a real bullet. But again, we didn't know that. As I'm reporting on this now, the investigation is still underway, but preliminarily, we know what I've just explained to you, and of course, we're very happy that it appears that she's going to be okay. We appreciate the public support. We had a great outpouring of support and concern, equally for her and for our officers, and I was happy to see that.
Thank you to Chief Brooks, and as always, NCM will continue to provide information as it becomes available.